So, hello, Minish gamers. Some studios have had a golden age. So remember, Bethesda with Fallout and Elder Scroll, Blizzard with StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, BioWare, of course, with Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and more recently, From Software. And I'm not gonna insult you, you know the game already. And so many other studios that I'm not talking about. They had all that time in the light, right? But today I'm gonna talk about a Swedish studio created in 2014. Only have 3 games in the portfolio, and everything they touch is gold. And I'm gonna talk about Hazelight Studio. So if I tell you Hazelight Studio, you're gonna say, I have no clue what we're talking about. And I'm gonna tell you, A Way Out in 2018, 9 out of 10. It Takes Two, 10 out of 10. Game of the Year 2021. Yes, sir. And today, Split Fiction, which probably is a Game of the Year contender. And no, if you know about, the story of the studios, I'm not going to talk about Brother, A Tale of Two Sons, because simply Joseph Fares, which is a director for Hazelight Studios and created these 2 games, also created this one, but he was part of Starbreeze Studio and not Hazelight. This guy, before being a video game director, he was actually a movie director and shot 5 movies between 2000 and 2010, so very atypical background for him, but apparently it works fantastic. This guy loves stories and he can tell them very well. So back to the present now, coming out of the 2021 GOTY, a lot of people were curious to see if Hazelight Studio could do it again. And did they? Well, apparently yes, they did. So we are following in Split Fiction. We are following 2 unsuccessful authors, Miyu and Zoe. One is writing sci-fi, the other is writing fantasy stories. And finally, they may have the chance to get published. And you follow them when they go to a meeting with a tech company. So usually tech companies don't publish your books, so that's why it's a bit strange, it's a bit shady. And of course, there will be an incident involving an experimental storytelling machine, which is pretty fun. I think it's Mio. I don't want to say something wrong. But one of them is suspicious of the tech, of course, which consists of putting you in some kind of a bubble where you will live through your stories, through the stories that the artist created. And there's a little scuffle, and boom, Mio or Zoe, basically one of them penetrates the other bubble, which is not supposed to happen because bubbles are individual. And she will get into, they're gonna have these 2 universe, sci-fi and fantasy, mixed up, which is really cool, and that's the setting of the game. So, of course, same as in It Takes Two, the 2 protagonists are completely polar opposite, which, will need to work together and learn to work together to get out of this malfunction. You can just take stories directly from the artist's mind and repackage it, for retail only, because that's exactly the point of this machine, right? Put artists in bubble, get their stories, repackage it, and sell it to the public. Really resonate with all the AI kind of problematics we have in our time. So it's also kind of quite not political, but almost, like the problematic of our time kind of issues. So it's really cool on that front. And as usual, gameplay is fantastic, varied, and on point. Yes, little glitches and all, with the 2 characters who can, shadow each other on one platform. Little things, but really not much other than that. Every review, whether it's professional journalists or players, are ecstatic. So the multitude of stories give birth to an actual working multiverse. Hi, Marvel. With new stories and gameplay to be enjoyed. So I was watching the IGN video. The IGN journalists say a sentence which I found fantastic. They found a way to play SSX and Shadow of the Colossus in one game and still make sense, which is fantastic. And on top of that, you can add dragons and ninja and an actual star blowing up in the mix. Really, you are ready to live the dream. Actually, literally, yeah, you are living the dream of these authors. So that's absolutely banger of a story. It's a feel-good game where dying is actually never really punishing, right? It's really made so that 2 people with very different abilities can still play together. So it's really well balanced. It's not a Dark Soul which like you're gonna cry tears of blood. No. it's kind of casual, and it's a game where stories wants to be played. Even if you can't pass some point, the game will tell you, do you want me to skip you to the other checkpoint, so that you can bypass this particular piece that you can't pass and just, keep playing. So this game just want to tell a story and want you to live it without punishing you for being a crappy gamer, because sometimes it's kind of hard to play, right? And that's it. So I really think, what? I don't recall seeing this game in the Game of the Year anticipated game. Maybe I'm wrong. Please tell me. I should have checked that before the video. Anyway, but definitely that's gonna be a contender for the Game of the Year award at the end of the year. It's maybe a bit early in the year, but we'll see if that affects it or not. And I really recommend you to take a friend or family member and play this game, because it's gonna be a fantastic experience.